Thank you, Madam President. It's interesting that we began this session of third reading bills with a debate around the Office of Just Transitions, and quite frankly, the consequence of the choices we make around climate policy. There's this high-minded idea that climate policy is the most important. It transcends all, it is all, it does all. And we discovered in the course of that conversation, and it's perpetuated in 1362, I would argue, that in fact, climate policy is not free. It's actually incredibly expensive. It's expensive in terms of dollars. It's expensive in terms of the disruption in human lives. And we heard that on the prior bill, and I believe that's true here. Now, what this bill will do for us is it will increase the employment of the Colorado Energy Office. It will also increase the employment of the Department of Local Affairs. It's clear that it does that. It will increase the power of both of those governmental agency offices as well. I've had the opportunity to talk to the head of the CEO of the Colorado Energy Office as we heard this bill, and I asked the question you've heard me ask them this well many times. What's going on with the head count over at the Colorado Energy Office? And finally, had before me the person who actually knows. He wasn't dead certain, but he felt like the increase next year is going to be about a 35% increase in the head count of the folks at the Colorado Energy Office. This bill does that with authority. It also gives that office a significant extension of its authority through committees and executive committees created by the bill for the purpose of establishing and managing this incredibly complicated code building process that is subdivided across the four climate regions of the state. It's just a labyrinth of all sorts of dials to turn and spokes to push, levers and handles to grab by not the people, but the Colorado Energy Office, Department of Local Affairs. The biggest concern I have around this bill is the fact that, although maybe far-reaching and forward-looking in a meaningful way, the cost of this bill to affordable housing in Colorado today, tomorrow, next year, and for the next several years, when we are in a crisis of housing affordability, is more than the people can bear. And it is for that reason, in defense of affordable housing for the people of Colorado, when we are 175,000 dwellings behind where we need to be today in order to be to the ratio that we've been at previously, number of rooftops over number of people's lives. Anything we do to make it harder to build, to make it more expensive to build, is in fact detrimental to the immediate and pressing needs of the people of Colorado. Now, I don't want to go so far as to say that there is a clear and present danger, but I got to tell you, I'm hearing from my constituents, and probably from some of yours too, about their significant concerns over the cost of living in Colorado and the fact they can't keep up. And we're playing these sophisticated cerebral games and hiring more bureaucrats to figure out how to make that cost of living less attainable. High-minded, at the same time perhaps wrong-headed. I urge your opposition to 1362. Thank you, Madam President.